Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a replay and a shoutcast between Snick and Star-Shaped here on, what is the name of this map? Name of the map is Amazonia. Alright, one of the very many versions of Amazonia that I seem to have, as Snick is spawning as the blue undead player on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Star-Shaped spawning as the orange night elf. Now, I know that this game is mislabeled. It is on purpose for those of you guys who are following me and subscribed to me. I don't want the number of games in a series to spoil the outcome of a game. And because of that, I did purposely mislabel this. Consider this a bonus cast. Consider this an anti-spoiler cast. Just, well, if I say don't tell me that it's mislabeled, someone out there is going to troll me and say, well, it's mislabeled. So do whatever you will. Star-Shaped spawning over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. There is the Altar of Elders. There is the Ancient of War. Ancient of War being built relatively close down over here. And we saw that what can happen if you are too aggressive with the Ancient of War against a human. However, against an undead player, you really don't have to worry all that much. You know that your opponent at the very most can come at you with a Death Knight and a Rod of Necromancy. If he does try to come at you with ghouls, because they are just all ghouls, and you know they cannot really tower rush you, there isn't any immediate pressure or danger. The Ancient of Wars are generally strong, can really fight back there, as we're now looking at the Ancient of War already uprooting himself and now making his way down to this 5-3-3 creep path. Alright, Archer gonna go ahead and shoot that arrow and now run back. Gets a little bit of lightning zapped in the back for all of his effort, as the Archer is now running around with that lightning shield, hoping to get some additional damage onto that Renegade Wizard. The Acolyte has to be a little bit careful here. The Acolyte is taking a bit of damage, and it looks as though the Acolyte may be trying to take down a Wisp. It's not... Oh, I do believe the Demon Hunter, yes, did get that kill, though, and is picking up the Manual of Health. This Acolyte does have to be extremely careful. What's going on? This Acolyte is just running around in a circle, taking a bit of damage, and now, oh, the Ancient of War just decided to smack it down. Anyways, not giving the experience, but still getting rid of that nuisance. Alright, in comes the Archer once more. It is going to be pulling over these creeps, and the Demon Hunter wants to take down this rogue. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is already incoming with two charges on that Rod of Necromancy. There's a frog next to a sheep. And are they going to be falling? No, I guess not. And it looks like the frog and the sheep. See, I don't know why the frogs have taunt and sheep don't. Anyways, let's come back around here. You can see the Slipper of Agility has been left behind. That Demon Hunter is going to perhaps come in. Are we going to see a mana burn? Yes, I believe we did see a mana burn. There is a second mana burn there. And this is always one of those questionable moves for a Night Elf player. Do you actually mana burn a Demon Hunter? In this situation, yes you do, because you have not seen Unholy Aura chosen on that Death Knight yet. If it's not Unholy Aura, well, pretty much 99 times out of 100, it will end up being Death Coil. And with that, if you can remove some of those death coils, that is always a very good sign. Meanwhile, there is one Archer here trying to slowly pick apart this skeletal minion. And the skeletal minion is down to 56-41. Is it actually going to fall before... oh, the Wisp may end up dying. Yes, the Wisp does die, as we now see a little bit more of an exchange here. Star-Shaped actually pressing forward into this fight, even though he's a bit outnumbered with a Death Knight on creep and a Crypt Fiend on Blight, excuse me, as those skeletal minions are now perhaps going to try to do a bit of creeping. Demon Hunter takes his time, picks up a Boots of Speed, may take up a Staff of Teleportation. No, Dust of Appearance instead for burrowing Crypt Fiends to make sure that they do not live and fight another day while hiding in the ground. Triple Archers down off over here. You can see the Slippers of Agility is still right there, as the Demon Hunter is hoping to get some easy kills. This is going to be some easy kills there. Yes, the Demon Hunter has stolen a fair amount of experience already, and now going to get this Apprentice Wizard as well. There you go. That Demon Hunter moving around so fast, as the Death Knight was not next to the Crypt Fiends as they were creeping. I'm not quite sure why. But now, Snick is in a really bad position. Star-Shaped looking very strong at this point with a level 2, almost level 3 Demon Hunter. archers are now making their push across the map. You can see we are already at Tree of Ages. We may pick up a Naga Sea Witch. No, it is going to be a Panda instead. So Panda versus a Naga Sea Witch, and it looks as though, yes, those skeletal minions will be falling. The Naga Sea Witch doesn't care about those minions at all. It's not her minions, as we're now looking at the Demon Hunter, who better pick up that Tome of Intelligence. I would be rather disappointed. There you go. Demon Hunter using Braille to read as best as I can understand, and now going after the Forest Troll Trapper. All right, meanwhile, back over here, the Pandas are looking to go after the Kobold Taskmaster here, and the Panda may end up getting to level 2 here because of that earlier skeletal minion. However, that is Crypt Fiend's Death Knight. Oh, Death Coil onto the Panda as we see a quick Drunken Haze around the back, and a very nice Cold Arrow slowing things down. The Taskmaster going to be giving level 2 to the Death Knight, I believe. Yes, there is level 2. That was a huge hit there, as the Demon Hunter now sitting at level 3 being forced to run away. The Cold Arrows not cold enough, as the Demon Hunter shakes it off and runs back. We are now looking at dual Ancients of Lore, Crypt Fiends and Bears, most likely going to be the unit of choice there, as the Wand of Illusion of Naga Sea Witch, Lady Serpentra, apparently just really wants to do a bit of scouting. Death Knight, Naga Sea Witch, both of them level 2, level 1 respectively, compared to a level 3 Demon Hunter, level 1 Panda. We are just looking into some very strong focus firing here. The Death Knight actually creeping on the far side of the map. This is a very important part, as this Naga Sea Witch needs to get to level 2 quickly. If it can get a Fork Lightning, that would be extremely helpful. I don't think I've ever seen a mana shield used on that Naga Sea Witch. Let's come back around. All right, there goes that Naga Sea Witch illusion. Rock Golem is taking a bit of damage here. It looks as though the Rock Golem going to be launching a little bit more rocks at these archers. Level 2 finally on the Panda. Does pick up a Scroll of the Beast, as the Demon Hunter waits off in the distance, perhaps waiting to try and creep out this 4-3-3 creep camp. 4-3-3 creep camp won't give any additional levels to the hero party of the Night Elf. Meanwhile, this Ancient of War really needs to start eating some trees. It is very low on hit points, and that must be awesome. Being able to eat trees to regenerate hit points, one of the easiest and best ways to regenerate hit points, as opposed to trying to repair. Demon Hunter quickly comes in. There is a mana burn onto that Naga Sea Witch, unable to get off any more Cold Arrows, as the Demon Hunter now backs off once more. And is the Demon Hunter going to try and engage again? The Panda sitting at level 2 may actually get to level 3 here. This is a 3-3 creep camp that's left. Yes, it will get to level 3, as the Death Knight and Naga Sea Witch are still running around. The Demon Hunter keeping very close tabs, has to be extremely careful. Very low on life, cannot afford to run on inside there. It could get shot down any moment. Meanwhile, the Panda with dual Mantles of Intelligence, very smart Panda, in order to get off a lot of Breath of Fire and perhaps a Drunken Haze as well, to get in that damage over time. 8 minutes into this game, and we are still both sides sitting on one base. No big surprise there. Sentry wards being picked up. And are they going to be placed down? Probably not yet, as the Sentry wards are a must-have against the upcoming fight during Nightfall. At Nightfall, those archers will begin to shadow meld. Tome of Agility. Oh, that was just begged to be read, and if that Demon Hunter gets it instead, I am going to be very upset. There's a mana burn, 61-point mana burn there. All right, we're going to be going into a little bit of an engagement. The Dryads getting focused down rather quickly there. Was that an Orb of Corruption from the Naga Sea Witch? That is an interesting call, as the Staff of Preservation does save a unit. However, another Dryad quickly gets focused down as the fights are coming underway. Another archer falls as well, and this is looking like Snick is going to be coming out on top. What is this? Wait, no, the Naga Sea Witch now low on hit points. The Demon Hunter trying to catch up, does have Boots of Speed, but unable to catch up to that Naga Sea Witch, as the Naga Sea Witch quaffs a potion of healing. Yes, that is a Q word for drinking a potion. I don't remember where I remember exactly where I learned quaffing a potion. All right, QUAFF for all of you guys who are still looking to take the SATs, ACTs, or any standardized tests. there's my word of the day for you. Naga Sea Witch about to get to level 3. Meanwhile, there's the Mana Burn. Naga Sea Witch trying to slither away back on Blight, but it's not going to really help as the Naga Sea Witch just shy of level 3. 1 experience, there you go. As the Naga Sea Witch with Lightning Shield going to finish off this, Renegade Wizard. All right, now Demon Hunter, seeing that level 3, does take a Frost Nova. That is a lot of cold to be had, as the Orb of Corruption really removing much of the armor that is on that Demon Hunter. Now that Orb of Corruption transferred to that Lich, that makes much more sense, as Frost Arrows and Orb of Corruption, the proc cannot exist at the same time. And now we're looking at perhaps the Taskmasters. Taskmaster and Tunneler, no real advancement in levels here. The Demon Hunter now should start to amass up a large army of bears. The bears are at mastery training, very important, and they want to stay in the Druid form as long as they can. Right before the engagement, they'll swap over this way that they'll have mana after the fight to try and stay alive. The Demon Hunter once again runs a bit too far, overcommits himself, will need to retreat back and perhaps take another rejuvenation from a Druid of the Claw. 161 mana, 53 mana, 124 mana. This is still not looking terribly good for Star-Shaped, as Star-Shaped doesn't quite have as much supply as his opponent, or at least it doesn't feel that way. No, 49 to 50. We are pretty much dead even here, as the Ancient of War could get taken down. One shot should do it. There's a Drunken Haze, there's a Breath of Fire, as the bears are now going after those poor Crypt Fiends. The Crypt Fiends do take a lot of damage. However, there is one destroyer in the air who is just tearing apart many of these bears. What happened to the bears? I think there's one bear left. Yes, it is now sent back home. Dust of Appearance. There it is now being used, as the Crypt Fiend is going to get focused down here. Are we going to get a final shot off the bear trying to catch up to those units there? There goes a shot. There goes another one. Abominations, Dryads, units falling left and right, as it looks as though Frost Armor onto that Crypt Fiend isn't going to fall. It looks as though the demon or the panda trying to get there, unable to get there in time, as there was a Death Coil. Beautiful save once more. Staff of Preservation saving again. I believe the cooldown is rather fast, as the panda also gets teleported back home. Ancient of War quickly taken down. Tree of Life going to buy a little bit of time, but will end up being canceled. There is the detonation, as now Snick is in a very slick time. You are going to be seeing the Sacrificial Pit perhaps train up a Shade. We are now seeing at 45 over 60, retraining up some Dryads, as the one destroyer in the air needs to perhaps hang back. All right, potion, Robe of Magi given to the Lich. The Lich now has plus 11 attack. There's a Mana Burn trying to neutralize that Lich a bit, as now we can see a very strong hero leading the way. All right, are we going to see a Drunken Hate? No, it does straight up Breath of Fire, Mana Burn, Staff of Preservation saves the Pandarin Brewmaster. Demon Hunter now trying to back off down to 65 hit points, is going to back off there without any issues, but the Dryads and the Bear are going to fall. There you go, now trying to finish off the rest of these units here. What is going on? There's the Dust of Appearance, finishes off another Crypt Fiend. There are still bears here, but that Demon Hunter gets off another Mana Burn. There goes a bear. Is it going to finish off the Lich? The Lich down to 95 hit points and survives. All right, Rejuvenation incoming most likely. All right, there you have it. Druids of the Claw rejuvenate on the Panda and also onto that Demon Hunter. Just need to wait for a little bit more mana once again. That is why you leave your Druids in Druid form as long as you can. That Demon Hunter, relatively not quite yet at full hit points, could really use those full hit points in that upcoming fight. All right, it looks as though the Demon Hunter trying to keep track of where his opponent is. And this is a perfect opportune time for Snick to perhaps Creepjack. No Creepjack at all. The units are now running around again. And there you see a Death Coil onto that Destroyer. The Death Knight does have a potion of mana, and we need to perhaps see Essence of Mana coming out from that Obsidian statue in order to... Oh, it is Essence of Mana. Essence of Mana perhaps faster at getting more hit points. Or is it doing both? I think I saw both. Yeah. Okay, this is a trick that you can use in order to cast Essence of Mana followed by Essence of Life constantly. The Demon Hunter gonna go ahead and try to go in for an engagement. You can see that the Enforcer's at 2 hit points. Alright, there's the engagement. There's a Rejuvenation. There is a Devour Magic as the Destroyer is up in the air looking very strong. Both sides fighting. That one Enforcer just needs to get taken down to 6 hit points. Not quite sure why it isn't falling. Just hit it and get the item. Very nice item, perhaps. As, yes, that Creepjack gonna turn into easy experience for Snick. This is looking good for him, as all of these units will be falling. There goes the Renegade Wizard. True Shot, or an amazing item for the Lich and that Naga Sea Witch. You can see that True Shot aura right there, perhaps going to be given to that Lich. The Demon Hunter takes a Death Coil for doing a little bit of scouting, and the Lich now up to plus 15 damage, more than 50% bonus damage in terms of base damage. Hippogriffs now being added in order to deal with those destroyers, but once you have the Hippogriffs, what are you going to do once all the destroyers are gone? You're going to be dealing with Crypt Fiends and Obsidian statues on the ground, and that is one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of Hippogriffs. The Hippogriffs just stand there and don't do anything unless you get perhaps 1 or 2 Fairy Dragons as well to try and fight back against those Obsidian statues. Make them move around, make them do something. As we are now looking at Dryads and Bears still wandering across the map. Demon Hunter sitting at level 3. This is not looking good for the Night Elf army. Shade is keeping good track of this army as well, as Star-Shaped is, well, not in a very good position to be. You can see the Boneyard. Is it going to be training up a Frostworm anytime soon? Perhaps in just a little bit, sometimes maybe. Best way to guess there. We're looking at a quick suicidal Demon Hunter down to 40 hit points. And wow, that was a very odd way to end that game. How anticlimactic. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.